Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Manahil Remote Job Wali and I am delighted to be here with all of you today. We have a very special guest with us, a distant guys individual whose work has inspired many and helped individuals achieve greater success and fulfillment in their lives. And so please join me in welcoming Mr. Harry Howard, the speaker, coach, and founder of Vibrant Leaders. So, today we have the privilege of delving into Mr. Howard's remarkable journey and gaining insight into his expertise in personal development, leadership, and coaching, while explore the experience and wisdom that he brings to the table, which have the power to transform lives. So, Mr. Howard, thank you for joining us today. We are eager to learn more uh, about your life journey and the valuable work you do at Vibrant Leaders. So, welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, and thank you very much indeed for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you so much. So, sir, please introduce yourself for my viewers.
Yes, okay, very happy to introduce myself. As you kind of mentioned, and as people will see on the screen, my name is Harry Haward. I'm in the UK. Vibrant Leaders really came about as a result of a complete accident, really. What had happened is in 2017, I had been defending my late father in a pub, and Uh, prior to that, I'd been wanting to join the police, but what had happened is I've defended my father in a pub. An incident happened. It led to me being arrested. Tragically, so as soon as that incident happened, my career or the career I wanted with the police was over in a heartbeat. Wasn't going to happen because of a violent crime having been committed. And shortly after that, in 2018, I'd sort of met my fiance, and had been due to get married in 2020. But COVID had come into the country the week that we were due to get married in the UK. And shortly after that, shortly after April of 2020, my relationship had turned toxic with my fiance. Things came to an end. And I felt very torn up. I couldn't do the career that I wanted to do. I wasn't going to get married to the woman that I loved. And so I went to go and see a life coach, and because I just realized that I needed more direction in life. So I went to see a life coach, and the life coach I saw helped me become more and more empowered. I started to see the power that I had within. And I thought, well, if someone can do this for me, I want to do this for others. And so I started a path then of deliberate personal growth and development, reading books to inspire me, and taking action to become a life coach, studying what I needed to do to add value to other people. And it wasn't long after that that I met other people who were kind of along on a similar sort of path to me, and very much into personal growth themselves. And from that point, really, Vibrant Leaders was born because I was connecting with like minded people that had the same mission as I did to equip, serve, and empower other people to become mindful, resourceful leaders and actually find success in all areas of life. So that's how Vibrant Leaders has come to be. And as we talk now, I'm taking step by step little bits every day to try and develop Vibrant Leaders into a global brand and reach as many lives as possible.
All right, wonderful introduction. Thank you so much for your introduction. So, now let's move on to questions. My first question is on your screen. Uh, can you tell us more about your journey from working in customer service as a sales manager in your family business to becoming a speaker and coach? What inspired this transition?
Wow, I'm very impressed with the research you've done on me here. Um, right, so to be honest with you, as things stand, I'm still very much in customer services. And in fact, any business that anyone does in life is fundamentally customer services. Everything you do and say is customer service driven. It's all about making connections with other people. But in order to kind of wind things back, if you like, to what I did in the family business, that had been my late father's company. I worked with him for 12 and a half years. We worked for a company called the Online Book Company, where you're working with charities and individuals creating online books to essentially celebrate all areas of life. Now, very sadly, last year in April, my father died. My father was very much my best mate, and I enjoyed working with him. But what had happened is when he died, I actually moved from my family home and had to relocate. I ended up with two subsequent jobs after he died because my father had been the company manager when I worked for him. So I moved to a completely new location because my mother was selling the family home. She's still waiting for that sale to go through. But I realized at that time I had to find my own support network and move to an area where I had those friends and people around me, really, because the people you surround yourself with in life are absolutely key to your success. So I moved to another area in the country. I took on a job with a mobility company, still customer services. Um, I was with them for almost 6 months before that company went bust. I then ended up going to work for a charity job, and very sadly, I lost my job there. But I've now moved on to another job now where, again, it's still customer service based, where I'm doing a lot of works of generating my own leads, getting connections, and helping other businesses. So I go back to the fact that whatever anyone does in life, customer services are pretty much what we've all got in common because it's all about connecting with other people. And that's very much sort of brought me into what I'm doing now with Vibrant Leaders in terms of connecting with others still and just striving to really add value into other people's lives.
Okay, all right, great answer. Thank you so much for your answer. So, my next question is, what does achieving a great work life balance mean to you, and how do you help individuals accomplish it through your coaching and speaking?
Yeah, achieving a great work-life balance is obviously fundamental to human health, essentially, because one of the things I have become more aware of in my own life is that balance between work and general play, if you like, really. And I'm someone who, on my work days, gets up very early in the morning. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, from Tuesday to Thursday, each day of the week. Every week that comes up, and that can be very exhausting by the time I get to the end of the working day. And of late, I have been starting to feel quite a bit of mental build up in my head as a result of being mentally fatigued. And so, one of the things I do to try and take stock is I like to journal for one thing. So ask myself questions as to how I'm really feeling, the impact things are having in my relationships, my finances. And I tend to look at life from a very holistic approach. I like to look at all the component parts that make up your life. So your finances, your career, your relationships, your spiritual needs. And from there, I can get an all round perspective as to what's really going on. And as I say, for me right now, health is absolutely fundamental to getting that work-life balance. One of the things I like to use myself is the Apple Watch to keep an eye on what's going on in my life. I've also invested recently in something called a Whoop, like Whoop Whoop. People can check that out online. I don't get any commission for bringing these sort of things up, but that's well worth a look because it tracks your sleep, your blood pressure, and everything going on in your life. And I'm all about trying to get my health up so I can live a much more healthy, vibrant life.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for your answer. So, can you share some examples of how you have seen your coaching and mastermind courses produce life transforming result of individuals?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be honest with you, right now of where I'm at as a business, this is very much in the growing stages still at the moment. But I was saying to someone yesterday who I had a similar conversation with, where at the moment I fully believe that every opportunity that anyone has in life is a coaching opportunity in terms of adding value to them, actively listening to them, and doing what you can to help them. And so my focus is just as much on trying to add value to people through the courses that I produce as actually doing what I can out and about without charging people, because when you give to others, there's always some sort of point of return. It may not be instantaneous, but life is really all about sowing seeds. So, what I would encourage anyone listening to this is to always look for the opportunities where you can get out there and actually listen to people. You know, it could be a family member, it could be a close friend, you could be in a restaurant, and a little opportunity might arise to actually sort of tap in and say, look, are you having a good day? What's going on for you right now? What brings you here? And that'd be my message here, um, for anyone. Anyone can essentially be a coach, whether they want to do it as a long-term career or whether they just want to do something more for themselves to actually care and connect with others.
All right, thank you so much for your answer. So, your work with people who are committed to personal growth and ongoing empowerment, how do you tailor your coaching approach to meet the specific needs and goals of each individual client?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, essentially, everyone has goals in life, and what I want, and certainly ought to, if they don't, but I I take on the approach where I want to find out exactly from people where they are now and where they want to go. And in order to do that, the first thing that I do with all my clients is try and understand what they really want. Sort of, they need to have a sense of purpose. And it's been said plenty of times in life that there are two great days in someone's life. One being the day we're born, and then the reason that we actually find out why. And what I do is work with people to actually find out that sense of why, because once anyone in life has that purpose, that sense of why, the reason why they get up in the morning, you can then set goals around that, which will radically transform your life. You know, you may have sort of a particular career that you want to do. You may have the desire to get married. You may have the desire to live in a particular home, have a particular car, have a particular income. And what I want to do is pick apart all of those areas within the component parts of what's known as the wheel of life and get a full structure as to what people actually want to achieve. And then I can drive them forward to success. And really, you know, all of that is very unique. Everyone has different things they want to achieve in life. So I do tailor it very much for the individual and where they want to go.
Thank you for your answer. So, in your experience, what are some common challenges individuals face when it comes to developing self confidence and getting more out of life, and how do you address these challenges?
Yeah, I mean, I think with regards to self-confidence, a lot of us, certainly growing up, are very used to hearing the answer no. You know, our parents can say, oh, don't do this, don't do that. No, you can't do this. No, you can't have that. And the more we hear the word no in growing up, the more it can become very conditioned into our mental wiring. And we then start to doubt ourselves as to what we can achieve. And so we need to learn to rewire those thoughts. And, you know, one of the things that I do is, you know, I do take time to read personal growth books all the time. I look at ways that I can actually develop myself. There are some great mentors out there. I mean, whether you decide to do a seminar. I mean, I'm someone who has attended a number of Tony Robbins events. I've also sort of been along to things which John Maxwell does. So I look for mentors which I know are going to encourage me and uplift me. And the beauty is with things like YouTube and other resources out there, podcasts and things like that, a lot of resources out there you don't actually have to pay for. So again, for anyone listening to this, I would encourage you, if you don't have the financial resources to invest in a great mentor, look at what you can get for free on YouTube, see what you can tune into on Spotify or other little sort of radio communication channels. If you're resourceful, you will find what you need. And I think that the biggest thing that I can suggest is just look for opportunities. I can't stress that enough to the people listening here.
Yes, you are right. Thank you so much for your answer. So, what are some of the key success principles and mindset shifts that you often emphasize in your coaching and speaking engagement?
Yeah, great question. So, the biggest thing really that's helped me in my life is fundamentally learning to take 100% responsibility for your outcomes. Now, there's a very simple formula in life for this, which is E plus R equals O. Now, in order to break that down for your viewers, basically E stands for the event, R is your response, and O is your outcome. Now, the E, or the event in life, we can't always control. I mean, certainly when the COVID pandemic came into this country, no one could exactly control that. I mean, that's open to debate sometimes amongst different people, but certainly for you and I, who, um, for all intents and purposes, and want of a better word, could have been seen as victims of the pandemic, um, it was up to us to change our response to that event, the E, in order to get a better outcome for ourselves, the O. So let's look at the response side of things. Now, I mentioned that for some people, they could have had the victim mentality of, right, okay, COVID's coming to the country. I can't see my friends, can't see my loved ones. I can't go on holiday. I can't do this, can't do that. But I think what you decide to focus on and magnify will grow stronger. And if you actually look for the good in any situation, that's the thing that you start to sort of build up, and you start looking for solutions rather than the limitations. And so for me, I started looking at the fact, well, look, okay, I may not be able to get out there and actually physically see people, but there's still the opportunity of connecting with people online, as you and I are doing now. There's the opportunity of learning new skills, reading a book. I might still be able to go out for a short walk somewhere. And it's about building up the little wins in life. And something that I deeply encourage, again, as another success principle for anyone here, is the importance of gratitude. If you can start your day every day with gratitude and building up a list of everything that you've actually got to be thankful for, again, you'll start mentally wiring yourself and conditioning yourself for better things in life. And really, I believe that for anyone who's seeking abundance in life, you first and foremost have to be grateful for what you've already got, because if you're not, it's essentially like you're becoming a blocked dam. There may be some degree of water in there, but in order to actually keep the water flowing and pour out to other people, you need to learn to practice gratitude, because the abundance comes in, but then equally you have the power to let that abundance flow out to others and actually help and empower them. And this is what everything in my own life is all about. What I strive to do more and more of on a consistent basis.
All right, thank you so much for your answer. So, could you share a memorable success story from your coaching practice where someone experienced significant personal or professional growth after working with you?
Yeah, I mean, again, I go back to the fact that with regards to vibrant leaders, we are still very much in our infancy on the journey here. But I I have had the privilege of working with a particular young lady in the past, who had lost her sense of direction, certainly didn't know much about how to set goals and things like that. And I worked with her to create a vision board to try and have a very clear focus as to where she really wanted to go in life, to identify the purpose. And when people start realizing the art of what can be possible in life, then you actually begin to increase your vibration. You start sort of looking for ways that you can attract better things in your life. And, I go back to the fact that anyone I've ever had the opportunity of actually speaking to, I've always emphasized the importance of gratitude because there's a wonderful quote by Zig Ziglar who said, "It is your attitude, not your aptitude, that will determine your altitude in life." And for those people who want to aim high and achieve great things in life, it all starts with your attitude. So that's the biggest thing that I can stress to anyone listening here. I would encourage active journaling. Really, this is the thing, and anyone I have had the privilege of speaking to and had some degree of coaching with, I've said the importance of practicing the gratitude and actually taking the opportunity to journal, to check in, to ask themselves questions, because ultimately, as Tony Robbins would say also, the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality of questions you're prepared to ask yourself. So if people are asking themselves questions daily about what's going on, how do I feel right now, what am I grateful for, then this is one way that people will start to improve every day, because success is a progressive thing. It's all about stacking things up bit by bit. And by the time you get to the year, at the end of the year, you'll be surprised about what you have achieved.
All right, thank you so much for your answer. So, my next question is what are some of the main topics you cover in your keynote talks, and can you give us an insight into one of your most impactful talks?
Yes, so again, with regards to the key topics on my talks, my main thing fundamentally is about stressing the importance of one taking 100% responsibility for our outcomes. And as a principle, that may sound very easy and all well and good, but the reality is that many of us do end up blaming, complaining, and criticizing when things don't go our way. And that there are times where even now I can be challenged about certain things that might come along in my life. But if I know the principle and remind myself about the importance of not blaming, complaining, criticizing, then I'm more aware of sort of how I can apply my own personal power to the situation, in the sense of being able to take control. Because again, I go back to the fact that the actual event I may not be able to control, but I can always change my responses. I mean, as an example, I mentioned earlier in this interview that I had different jobs which sort of came and went. And in my last job, I had ended up losing that. And I then thought, well, I can be very upset, very angry about having lost the job, but actually, how can I change my response to this? And I thought, well, okay, the reality is that within that job, I was paid okay, but I didn't have a great deal of money from it. And I thought, well, I now have the opportunity of looking for a better job, of earning more money. And as a result of actually taking action and taking on full responsibility for my situation, I've actually been able to find a better job where I've got colleagues I particularly get on with. Um, I'm actually working less hours now for more money than I had in my last job, which is crazy but brilliant. And um, I suppose you can argue there was an element of luck behind it, but I was looking for the opportunities through taking 100% responsibility for my life. So this is absolutely something that I stress in all my talks. The next element that I like to discuss with people is actually getting very clear on what you want, because I think a lot of people can end up bumbling through life, really. And I think what we need is people to have a very clear sense of purpose and direction. And it's about awakening yourself from within, because when you awaken yourself from within, you're able to pour out to others. You have that clear sense of direction in life. You've got that sense of why. You know why you're here. You know what you're doing. And all of this can lead to a much more vibrant, fulfilling life. And from this place of having your sense of purpose, I then go on to actually looking at life goals. Now, this is quite an important thing, really, because the thing with goals is, for many people, they actually end up setting what really amounts to a series of wishes. Like, I wish to get married. I wish to have a nice car. I wish for this. I wish for that. Or I want this. I want that. And it's all very well to have those desires, But unless you're actually making those goals physically tangible, and by that I mean how much by when. So, for example, I want to drive a silver Aston Martin Vantage. I want to have a house in such and such a place. I want to be married by the time I'm 40. And yeah, if you make those goals quantifiable and someone else is able to measure those with you, then that is a great sign of a goal. Because the other beauty with goals is when you make them structured in that sense, people can come alongside you and ask you questions, keep you accountable, work with you, try and help you find the resources and the people to make those goals a reality. So those are the things that I look to do to try and make my talks impactful and benefit other people's lives. And my talks can be completely tailored according to the individual's needs.
All right, that's great. Thank you so much for your answer. So, how do you stay motivated and maintain your high energy and passion in your work as a speaker and coach?
Yeah, very good question. And the reality is that some days can be very hard. And one of the things that I like to do, and I follow a lot of sort of ideas and concepts again by Tony Robbins, and he has something which he calls priming. And priming can be generally a sort of form of meditation and breath work, breathing control, and things like that, which I do. But um, equally attached to priming is an element of finding great music which kind of uplifts you and encourages you. And one of the things I like doing whilst I'm out and about is listening to high energy music that will get me going and change my physiology, because a lot of everything we do comes down to the way we breathe, the way we walk, the way we sort of conduct our bodies and move it, and the things we focus on as well. So I have a morning routine where, again, I go back to the fact that I look to practice gratitude every day, because when I practice gratitude, it lifts my vibration and it does put me in a better mood, rather than thinking, oh, it's Monday, I've got to go into work today, and having this really negative energy about the day. But if I start my day looking for the good, I can already start my day with increased energy, because I'm looking at the things which I'm very grateful for, and it puts me in a better mood straight away. Um, I then listen to music to make sure that it uplifts me. I've got something which is upbeat and gets me in, like, in a flow, if you will. Um, and the other thing which I want to emphasize more of here is the importance of sleep. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier on in the interview. I've recognized in my own life that I need more and more of this. And so the biggest thing that I can say to your listeners is learn to prioritize your health. Now, I again already mentioned in the interview that I use an Apple Watch. I've been looking into another device called a Whoop, but tracking my sleep and the exercise I have is absolutely fundamental to me. Alongside that, something that I have conditioned myself to do is to have a spa day every month where I get pampered, I get looked after and treated well. And the reason I decide to do that is because each of us has a threshold with our energy. And in order to actually stay healthy, stay rested, be in a peak state to operate in, we need to take that time for ourselves. And in fact, today, for anyone who is listening, they may like to have a look on my LinkedIn profile where I posted the importance of saying no to things, because there are some things, and it's some people who noted that I said about the whole thing with no earlier on. There are some things in life where it is good to say no to, particularly when opportunities do come along, which might take you off from your purpose and end up making you feel more tired and burnt out. I mean, as an example, after today's call, I had a series of other people requesting interviews or chats I had to do, and I just had to say no. I just had to look at my own energy levels and say that I can't overcommit. And so I would encourage people to have a look at my LinkedIn profile, if they haven't done so already, and have a look at that article, because I have been able to find some things there where I talk about the importance of having good rest, doing things like the spa days, doing things for them which are going to energize their body.
All right, wonderful answer. And I would like to express our insincere gratitude to Mr. Harry Howard, his valuable insight, experiences, and wisdom with us today. Your dedication to personal growth, leadership, and coaching has adaptedly left in an indelible mark on our audience. We hope you found this interview with Mr. Howard inspiring and informative. Remember that personal growth and empowerment are continuous journeys, and the principle discussed here today can serve as a beacon on your path to success and fulfillment. If you would like to connect with Mr. Harry Howard, learn more about vibrant leaders, or explore his coaching services and keynote talks, please visit his website or contact him through him preferred channels. Once again, thank you, Mr. Harry Howard, for being with us today, and thank you, our audience, your participation and engagement. Thank
It's been a
you.
pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye. Have a wonderful day